Hey guys, Rick and Duke. Welcome to another episode of War HOGG Words of Wisdom. This time here, we're going to talk about kind of your administrative duties, things, paperwork, kind of playing on our whole how to be an entrepreneur, small business, starting up, all that other good stuff. So if you're new to the show, you're going, who is this Duke character? So Duco was my combat assault dog that I lost 5 July 2021 to osteosarcoma. If you watch kind of the first couple episodes, he's in there. Thanks to Mark and his fantastic artwork. You know, he's got that if you're watching this on the video side. So appreciate all his hard work keeping Duco's memory alive. But appreciate all your support, guys. So really just want to thank the viewers, listeners out there for giving me your most precious commodity, your time to tune in to listen to my words of wisdom. If you like what you guys are hearing, please do us a favor. Tell your friends, tell your family, coworkers, all that other good stuff. Hit that like button, subscribe button, leave us a rating, review. I don't care if it's a thumbs up emoji. Leave us something to help the algorithm to go, hey, people are digging the On the Range podcast, War HOGG Words of Wisdom, and Vantage Point, if you want to say, all wrapped in the series. The other thing, guys, you guys can support the show by going to patreon.com/on the range podcast. You guys can look at the different levels we have there. You can basically sign up for that, get Zoom calls with me and Mark, exclusive content just for our patrons, training tips behind the scenes, all kinds of other good stuff. So make sure you guys check that out. Patreon.com/on the range podcast. And as always, don't forget warhogg.com, kellydefense.com. Check out our industry partners, all the coupon codes, savings, all that other good stuff. And I've been going for a while with my housekeeping. So jumping right in, let's talk about admin. So to me, your admin kind of falls in a couple different areas. So when you're initially starting, what do you know about admin? Probably nothing, right? So this is where I'd recommend you reach out to kind of some of your mentors. You can look online, you can do some other things. You get to kind of figure out, hey, what's some paperwork that I need in place? So here's a little story for you. When I was a young entrepreneur, not really knowing what's going on, I opted to take this product that I was working on to try to market it because I wanted to license it to another company. What did I know about licensing? Nothing. What did I know about really meetings? Nothing. IP protection? Nothing. Long story short, I went to the meeting. It was kind of ad hoc, and I brought an NDA or non-disclosure with me. Sat down with that company representative, slid over the NDA. Luckily, I had it, which was a good thing. And then he says, "I don't sign anything without my attorney reviewing it." Wow. Here I am in this dilemma. What do I do? Do I, in essence, lift up the skirt and show them what I've got? Or do I sit there and go, all right, let's have a nice day and hopefully we can meet again sometime down the road? Seeing how I'm an East Coast-based company, he's a West Coast-based company, I knew it was a gamble, right? Time and effort, money to fly out there, have another meeting. At what point could both of our schedules, link back up? I don't know. Long story short, I made the gamble. And that experience was a huge learning process. We did not end up brokering a deal. We spent a lot of time going back and forth. So it was kind of like, yep, okay, cool. Because I didn't know about manufacturing here in the US. I didn't know anything about that. So I was like, hey, let me just pass this idea or this prototype off to somebody and let them run with it. And then all of a sudden, yeah, okay, looks good. On a saving note, I'll say this, I'll jump ahead. They did not steal my stuff, so that was a good thing. I'll give them that. But then again, it was jump forward. So, obviously NDA had it in place, didn't deliver earlier. So that's probably one of those. If you are going to have a meeting, just make sure the NDA is signed in place prior to, so their legal team, if they want to, can review it. And then as this conversation developed, they're like, hey, what's your term sheet? Go to the Google machine, right? What do we know about term sheets? And right there, that should have been a strike, right? So versus them giving me a term sheet and me, figuring stuff out, I've got to try to figure out this term sheet. What's it mean? So again, now I'm on the phone talking to mentors. Hey man, what do you think of this term sheet? And it's like, no, cut this out, get to this. Here's the high points. It's just a place to kind of get you in the door and start talking, negotiating, whatever you want to say. Am I saying you've got to have a term sheet, in your portfolio? Not necessarily. If you think you're going to take a product to market, or not so much take it to market, but have somebody license it, you might want to think about it. At least kind of know the inner workings of it. But that was just a long negotiation back and forth. Hey, if I'm going to bet on myself, I'm going to bet high, and then it's like come in low, and then just some of my principles being made in the U.S. wasn't going to happen. It's just like, what, good experience, but then just kind of step away. Something else you got to think at, so we got our NDA, term sheet, just have the idea, having a W-9. So that's basically if you're going to do any work for anybody else, people want your W-9. It's just an IRS tax form. But again, versus putting your social on there, you're going to put your EIN number, just as your pertinent info. But we've got one of those already pre-done. So whenever I'm doing a quote for somebody, working for somebody else, whatever the case may be, boom, there's the 1099, and easy day on that one. That's a fairly easy one to do. You got to kind of look at, what's kind of your format. If you are going to quote people, you already have your letterhead kind of established. Now you're just plugging stuff in. What does that piece look like? I know for me, if law enforcement agency, military reaches out, say, hey, we're looking for some training. Cool. Here's the quote. And I just automatically attach the W-9 with it unless I've worked with them before, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask for it. It's just one less piece of traffic kind of going back and forth. Then you kind of shift gears. For me, in most businesses, I would make the assumption you probably need some type of insurance. What does that insurance look like? I'm not going to lie. I'm just a singleton, so mine is fairly easy. I'm not worried about workman's comp or all this other stuff. But you probably need to look at that. Liability insurance. For me, it's a big deal. So again, I kind of put everything back to my industry, what I know. The ranges that I typically go to require some type of liability insurance. And I will tell you straight up, if you're in the firearms world, advertising works, right? So I went first, hey, let me go to the NRA. They got firearms training insurance. Cool. Let's sign up with them. All right, great. Until you start progressing down the road. The problem with the NRA insurance is it has a force-on-force waiver stipulation where you cannot do any force-on-force training. And that's great till you're trying to talk to companies such as, Simunitions, UTM, something like that. And they go, hey, let me see your liability insurance. And they're like, oh, you've got that NRA stuff. Nope, that's no good. So now you're like, all right, now what do I do? So now you've got to go out and find something else. A company that has worked well for me, it's Outdoor Insurance Group. Super easy, friendly to work with. They're out in Colorado. The beauty with these guys is they're not charging $1,000 each time you want to add a range. It's pretty much barring, granted, for me, we're on East Coast, they're mountain time. If I do it in a halfway timely manner during the day, pretty much same day, I'm getting, my range applied to my insurance policy. So super friendly, super easy to work with, at a good cost. So I got those guys on a recommendation, and I got to say it was absolutely top notch. So it's been super user easy, friendly, good amount of liability coverage. And like I said, for me, adding ranges on there, too easy. And it's not like just add one and pull one. If I opt to go, hey, can I get my policies? It's like, boom, I've got every single range that I've ever plugged in there. So that makes it nice. So just, again, another thing that's on file. Typically for me, once you give it to that range, they don't need another one. Sometimes they ask again because they might have misplaced, lost, personnel change, whatever. And you go, yep, boom, there you go. So super easy on that one. Then it's just, going into this administrative part, right? What can you do to minimize, to me, the amount of time that I'm on the keyboard? The less typing I have to do, the better. So if you look at, kind of on my email traffic, right? Signature block is already there. Logos on there, confidentiality statement, all that stuff. So I'm not having to reinvent the wheel each and every time. Now, will I say this? Has my signature block changed over time? 100% it has. Co-host On the Range podcast. Yep, stick it on there. Oh, by the way, I've got a link on my email. So again, it's almost when I'm conversing with people, there's still that marketing going on. But there's a link on there. They can go to the podcast. They can go to the website. They can go to the Instagram. They can go to YouTube. They can go in on our Duco project. They can go to Scott's Wish, because again, I've got that on there as well. So I've got a lot of different links, information just in my signature block for my regular email traffic. And then same thing, if you're going to do your social stuff, do you have kind of this stuff already done? Or if you're going to go on YouTube, do you already have kind of your stuff ginned up? So now it's just like, boom, auto populates, and you're not wasting that time trying to do administrative stuff. Now, let's talk about, if you are in a services, a product company and you are fulfilling orders. Man, is your fulfillment automated in a way where it's super easy? Print out the shipping label, remove the paper on adhesives there, boom, slap and go. Took us a while to get there, right? So it was all about, printer technology, what's out there, looking around. Finally got one of those printers, super easy, plug it in, and all it does is just print out labels. So now it's easy for our fulfillment. One less thing, yes, we've got to package it. But when it comes to addressing labeling, boom, it's super easy now versus printing off a piece of paper. Now you got to cut it or fold it or do whatever to size. Now you got to sit there and use big hunks of tape, so it's always just, there's all kinds of just things you can do to trim your time. But again, if you don't know, you don't know. So it's just trying to minimize how much time am I doing. So, for lack of better terms, if you've got whatever other documents you might need dealing with your business, whether, for me, it's, waivers with students or rangers or whatever we need, all that stuff's already done. It's in a easy space that you can find, whether it's on your computer, whether you've got a couple, copies printed out, if you got to do certificate, whatever, it's just saving yourself the time. So you're not reinventing the wheel each and every time. And really, to me, the whole admin thing, we're at a pretty good point. That's one thing I can say. I think we've got more or less all of our admin paperwork straight. Yes, our signature block got tweaked as far as on our email, but I mean, that's improvements or changes to the business in there. So it's just continuing to do that. But with some of that, this, again, talking to your mentors, hey, what do I need? Is somebody that's running a construction company going to need some more different paperwork than what War HOGG Tactical is? I'm sure they are. But again, it's not my space, so I don't know. But again, it's finding out, reach out to other companies. Hey, what are you doing? What's your workman's comp look like? What are your, waivers, whatever you have to do for your employees? Are they, W-2, W-9s, all this other stuff you've got to kind of look at that goes a lot deeper. But just kind of hitting the wave tops, just looking at the paperwork or administrative stuff that you got to kind of have to do when you're running the small business. So here's the deal, guys. It's like anything else. Knock it out, get it done. If it needs improvement, fix it. If not, continue on to your next task and just go from there. But again, it's what am I doing for my business? Get me 1% better each and every day. Grow that business. I don't care if you're getting one more additional person on your email list. Great. Same thing, do you have your newsletters kind of knocked out in a single format to kind of plug and paste and get them out the door and let your customers know what's going on? I don't know, but that's kind of the way you want to get things. So anyway, guys, wish you the best when you're sitting there out there crushing your business, getting that stuff up and running. Again, kind of refer back to some of the other episodes if you need just to refresh as far as what's going on. And as always, guys, make yourself 1% better each and every day. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless our troops. God bless the United States of America. War HOGG out.